You ever notice how life loves to throw a curveball at you right when you think it's finally your turn to be happy? I mean, picture this. It's graduation day, the whole world smells like fresh-cut grass and freedom. Zoe's standing there in her cap and gown, already nervous enough to chew through her lip, and right in front of everyone. Mystery drops to one knee, ring in hand, and asks, "Zoey, will you marry me?" The whole crowd goes dead silent, then she says yes. Of course she says yes, and for a moment it's like something out of a movie, you know? Her hands shaking, eyes shining, both of them laughing and hugging, not a worry in sight. Feels like the universe finally got something right. A week later, it's all flowers and lace and shiny rings. Zoey twirls in front of this massive mirror, slipping on wedding dresses, Mystery grinning so wide you'd think he just won the lottery. "You look beautiful, Zoey," he says, and even the store clerk tears up a little. They pick out the perfect bouquet, joke about how they'll never agree on what kind of cake to have. Zoey even tries on rings she knows are too expensive just for fun, and Mystery acts like he's some fashion critic on TV. Too sparkly, not sparkly enough, and she laughs, loving every minute. But just when everything seems perfect, life decides to remind Zoey how fast the ground can drop out from under your feet. One rainy afternoon at the market, she spots Mystery walking with a girl she's never seen before. Someone tall, a little too close, their heads bent together like they're sharing a secret. Zoe's stomach drops. She doesn't even think, just runs straight out into the pouring rain, hair plastered to her face, mascara running, every step echoing the same question. Why? Why would he do this to me? She stumbles into the woods, heart pounding, lost in that messy swirl of anger and heartbreak, thunder crackling overhead like the sky itself is shouting back. Out of nowhere, a branch crashes down beside her, close enough to make her yelp, and right then Mystery comes barreling through the trees, umbrella in hand, shouting her name. And who's right behind him? Rumi, Mystery's older sister, gasping for breath, hair wild from the chase. "Zoey, I'm his sister," she blurts out, cheeks red, eyes dead serious. Mystery steps forward, drenched and honest as ever. "I'm sorry for not telling you sooner." "That's all it takes." Zoey bursts into tears, relief crashing over her, throws her arms around Mystery and just holds on, rain soaking them all as they start laughing, breathless, at how ridiculous the whole thing was. Sometimes the worst pain is just a misunderstanding, you know what I mean? Days later, the wedding comes, more beautiful than Zoey ever dreamed. Flowers everywhere, friends dancing, that look in Mystery's eyes like she's the only thing that matters. Afterwards, they ride out over the waves on their honeymoon, the sunrise bleeding pink and gold over the water, dolphins leaping alongside their boat like they're celebrating too. And if you think that's where the story ends, well, buckle up because fate's just getting warmed up. The next day, they're out surfing. Mystery is a natural, Zoey's laughing, falling off her board a dozen times, but then out of nowhere the ocean heaves, a tsunami rises like a mountain, and in a heartbeat Zoey's swept deep underwater, the roar of water filling her ears, panic rising like bile. Mystery dives in after her without hesitation. "Zoey, I'm coming!" Fighting the current, grabbing her hand, dragging her back toward the light. He barely makes it, both of them gasping, Zoey half-conscious on the shore, Mystery shaking with exhaustion. He scoops her up, hair tangled with seaweed, and doesn't let go. "As long as you're safe," he whispers, voice trembling. But Zoey slips into a deep sleep, too tired to speak. That's when things get weird. Mystery, desperate, somehow calls on a genie's power, yeah, a genie, don't ask me how he got that hookup, and conjures a boat out of thin air. He carries Zoey, racing over the waves, the moon hanging huge above them, spraying foam in their wake until they reach a hospital. On the moon, no less. Zoey's rushed into surgery, machines beeping, Mystery collapses in the waiting room, out cold from pure exhaustion. Zoey wakes up in a white room, panicked. First thing out of her mouth is, "Where's Mystery?" The doctor nods toward the glass. There he is, hooked up to wires, fighting for his own life now. Zoey sits by his bed for days, weeks, maybe months, time blurs, whispering prayers, holding his hand, refusing to leave. Seasons change outside the window, leaves fall and snow drifts by, but Mystery stays silent, lost in some other world. Until, one morning, his eyes flicker open, only he looks at Zoey like she's a stranger. "Who are you?" he says, and Zoey feels her whole world drop out from under her again. She doesn't give up, she can't. Instead, she makes it her mission to bring him back, step by step. She plans out dates like it's a scavenger hunt, takes Mystery to the zoo, this was our first date, to the park, to the burger place they used to love, even pedals a bike with him on the back like when they were in high school. Nothing clicks. She plants vegetables with him in a field, hoping muscle memory will kick in. Till nothing. That night, she sits on the porch and cries until she falls asleep, dreams twisting with regret and hope. Here comes the twist. A fairy appears in her dream, all shimmering light and calm wisdom, pressing a tiny glowing pill into her hand. Give this to Mystery, my child. Zoey wakes up, heart racing, and finds the pill clutched in her palm like magic. With nothing left to lose, she gives it to Mystery at breakfast. He takes it, winces, clutches his head like someone split his skull with a sledgehammer, and then, like a dam bursting, memories flood back. Zoey's laugh, their dances, the beach, the hospital, everything. He starts to cry, throws his arms around Zoey. I remember everything. And just like that, the storm passes. Life goes back to being soft, ordinary, and quietly wonderful. They have a baby, a little boy with Zoey's smile and Mystery's stubborn chin. You'd think that's the end, right? The happy family, the sunlit house, everything wrapped up in a neat bow. But look, life isn't a fairy tale and the past has a way of coming back around. Maybe that genie's magic has its price. Maybe Mystery's memory isn't as safe as it seems. Maybe Zoey wakes up some nights, staring at the ceiling, wondering how many times she'll have to save him, and if next time she'll be enough. So let me ask you, does love really conquer all, or do some scars never truly heal? Was Zoey right to forgive so quickly, or did Mystery owe her something more? If you had that magic pill in your hand, would you use it or let fate take its course? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I'll tell you, real stories only get more interesting when everyone jumps in. What would you have done if you were Zoey? Let's get the debate going. Who's the real hero and what does forgiveness mean to you?